Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. It's time now to review headlines from today's newspapers with the Ombudsman of This Day and Arise Media Group and This Day Newspapers Limited's Group Executive Director, Kayode Komolafe. Good morning, KK.
Good morning, Adefemi. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, KK.
Happy Sunday, KK.
Happy May Day.
Yeah,
Happy Workers' Day.
Very heavy proletarian salutation to Nigerian workers in their struggle, against the vicissitudes of this system.
Absolutely. We discussed that earlier.
How did they say that? Insulator?
Is it? Insulator.
Insulator.
Yeah, Africa.
The resilience of the Nigerian workers.
The struggle continues.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so let's proceed with the newspaper review. And of course, we'll start with This Day, where we have the lead story, Outrage over APC's Indecision on zoning of 2023 presidency. The riders are even, very strong. Ruling party's position, careless, ill-considered, says Pandev. APC's claim an invitation to anarchy. That's according to South Elders Forum. And withdraw statement on zoning, Hariwa youths tell Adamu. APC must zone presidency to Southeast. That's from Hoanese. So different, groups saying that the statement from the party chairman is ill-advised and probably reckless at this point. On the window, OPEC signs deal to fund feasibility study of $25 billion Nigeria-Morocco gas pipeline. NNPC slashes cash call arrears by 3.717 billion in 6 years. Petrol subsidy payments to raise fiscal deficit to 10 trillion in 2023. And on the strip, just above the masthead, NLC sues for peace, security, good governance on May Day. We also have the story of Sultan declares Monday as Eid, which is the Salah, and we're looking forward to it. And last but not the least, the story on page 72, which is promoted here. Jonathan's rumored ambition poses no threat, says Osinbajo, Tinubu's support groups. And if you want to add one of the cover pictures, that of Governor Kayode Fayemi of Ekiti State, who visited
Professor Soludo.
Professor Soludo in Anambra State as part of his consultations towards his declaration for presidency. It will be an interesting month of May, isn't it, KK?
It will be very interesting.
Over to you, sir.
It promises to be a long May. Yeah, as it were. I think in addition to salutation to workers on the May Day, I think it will also be in order to say congratulations, to our Muslim brothers and sisters who have been fasting for the past 29 days, as they come to the end of Ramadan and they look up to Salah tomorrow. Now, I agree with Steve. I think the photograph of Governor Fayemi and Professor Soludo, Governor Soludo on the phone is interesting,
Yes.
Governor Fayemi is of the All Progressives Congress, APC. Governor Soludo is governor on the platform of APGA, is also a progressive party, So if I see in the acronym or the abbreviation of their parties, you see the commonality in the purpose, progressive. So it will be very interesting to see because in that meeting, they actually made the point that there should be collaboration among progressive governors, And if you go back to the inauguration speech of Governor Soludo, you could see that it was actually a decidedly progressive manifesto, and that the kind of collaboration that the two governors are talking about is the kind of thing you would expect after all the hustling and bustling, of elections, that you begin to see parties naturally relating, on an ideological basis. The lead story of these days is interesting, but permit me that I think differently. I wonder whether it's an outrage in what Adamu has said. The man says he is not the party, that the party is greater than him, and that the decision on zoning will be made by the party. What is wrong in that, In fact, that is even what should be converted, that we should have the supremacy of the party. That the party should not just be an instrument in the hand of a person that you call him a leader, who is president, who is a governor, or who is an elected a chairman, that you should be able to have democracy. The idea of democracy is that it should be a party. The idea of party politics is that, you are having a collective approach, into politics, into governance. And I think that is what, Governor Adamu has said. The other point again is that it's very intriguing. We should also remind ourselves that primaries are basically the business of parties. It's not yet the general election. Yeah. But we discovered that the louder voices about the primaries are people who are not even members of the party, who will not be delegates, who will not have any say in it, Because for instance, no matter how me and you can, pontificate here and what is now, the fact is that if we are not a member of a PDP or YPP or APC or whatever party, you just don't have any vote. So when you hear that, you are talking of primaries of APC or PDP, is the voice of Ohaneze Ndi, but you are hearing the voice of Pandey, the voice of Afenifere. For God's sake, these bodies are not members of the party. They are not. Their leaders are not going to be delegates, exactly. to this party that they don't. So threatening fire and brimstone to me is just, out of place. And what Governor Adamu has said to me is what should be encouraged, that you should, have organizational discipline. Because the thing about our politics is that, the way the parties are run, you don't have organizational discipline, and the parties, have more or less been rendered irrelevant just as an instrument, for people to capture power. The other story which I think is important is the statement by NLC, And I think what I would like to say is, or has been already well captured by you guys in the May Day discussion that you had at the beginning of the program, and that is that, it's not just a celebration, but an occasion for deep reflection, yes. On the conditions, of, the welfare, the workers, And like Steve said, we're not just talking about, those who, because when you talk of the proletarians, politicians actually refer to those who even have jobs, exactly. Workers, But in a country where you have youth unemployment, that you have millions of, people who should be working, who are in their productive, age, and those years are now being wasted, out of joblessness. That is an occasion to actually reflect about job creation,
yes.
About also being conscious of even the changing nature of work, even the concept of what it means to work, with the disruptive impact of, technology, on our humanity, and this is changing, globally, how to catch up, to catch up, and of course, for those who are even lucky to be at work, that I see in a country where politicians did not say anything immoral, to pay 100 million naira to
exactly.
And the same people are resisting payment of a 30,000 naira as minimum wage, to a fellow citizen. That you don't think that somebody deserves to earn 30,000 naira, the family, in a country where you can, without breaking an eye, you can pay 100 million naira to obtain a form for, to contest the primary, that you have. Now, the challenges, like the NLC says in their statement, they're immense, because you're having the May Day this year within the context, of insecurity, which is the primary thing, Whether you are a worker, you are a politician, you are a businessman, whatever your locus in the spectrum, that you have insecurity. And this to be able to resolve the question of insecurity, it all depends on how the politics of the country is played, And if you don't tackle those issues, then you cannot have development, And that is why I think that the theme of this year May Day, as framed by the NLC, on politics, insecurity, and development, is quite apt,
Yes.
And it's well pushing. So in all. Whichever way you look at it, I think the Nigerian worker, deserves, the solidarity, that he can get now, because the struggle ahead is really going to be very tough.
Yes. Absolutely agree with you.
All right.
Adefemi, this
Can we
style.
see the style?
Oh gosh, that's putting so much pressure on me. Okay, so on the cover of this day's Style on Sunday is Maya Atafo, and the headline reads "Going Global." And it's a little walk through his, let's not say not too distant history of his life so far. The fact that he started out as someone who didn't actually work in fashion. He was in marketing and branding beforehand at Diageo, and before deciding to turn on to fashion. So the sit-down interview he has, or the interview he did with Kanye, and this being Kanye's first edition as the editor of This Day's Style, big congratulations to her again. It's actually quite interesting. Again, it talks about the challenges the business faced during the pandemic, 10 things that you may or might not have known about the man himself, but also about going forward, what else he can see from himself, what we can see from him. And he says that he definitely wants to push Atafo to the point where it runs independent of him. So it's quite interesting. Definitely take a read through.
I think Konya did amazing by choosing a fashion designer as her first cover star for her latest position. And like you said, Maya Atafo really is a revolutionary. I've worked with him over the years, and he's done really well for his brand.
Yes.
You know, he transitioned from, I believe, what was it called, Maya Atafo, and then he did. He's now doing bridal, and he's now coming out with his own, I guess, luggage and other apparels like that.
Things are happening.
Yeah.
He has succeeded in creating a brand, and upwardly mobile people in the country can easily, relate with his brand, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So, congratulations to Koye.
Yes, that message actually.
This being the first edition to bear our signature,
Yes,
I think it's a good outing, and we wish her well.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Again.
Oji, what paper do we have next?
Let's move over to the Sunday Tribune. Yes, okay. Sunday Tribune. The lead story there. Lamido to Jonathan. You will destroy yourself if you join the APC, he says. And the writer there, Kano youths issue 7-day ultimatum to the ex-president to contest. I mean, this is different from what This Day is reporting. This is the Sunday Tribune. Sunday Tribune. Well, This Day says Jonathan's rumored ambition poses no threat, says Osibajo, Tinubu, and the likes, the support group. But I don't know what you think about this whole conversation on Jonathan. I'd like for you to talk about that, but let me just read all the stories on the Sunday Tribune. Another story there, actually, the picture story there is the Lagos State Governor and presidential aspirant, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That picture is he's displaying the presidential nomination and expression of interest form, which Sanwo-Olu picked or presented to Bola Tinubu on Saturday. Another story there, gunmen attack Anambra again. This is on page 30 of the Sunday Tribune. The writers there, they killed 5 in a beer parlor, 1 soldier in Peter Obi's village. This is so sad. And 5 headsmen were killed in Benue. At least this happened yesterday. And then another story there. Masop leader drums up support for Yahaya Bello. That's the movement for the actualization of a sovereign state of Biafra. The group that broke away from IPOB, I guess they're supporting Yahaya Bello. And then the Chief of Army Staff charges the troops to kill as many bandits, kidnappers this Salah. I guess he's really charging them. I mean, Salah is just a day of holiday, but he's saying, go ahead and kill these people. And then the last story I'll take there. Monday is Eid al-Fitr. Moon not sighted yet, says Sultan of Sokoto. Over to you, KK. Can we discuss Jonathan's ambition?
Yeah, it should be the reaction to Jonathan's rumored defection, since the former president has not actually made a categorical statement, to the best of my knowledge.
This is consulting.
Yes, it's consulting. Yes, so he has not said if he's in the race or if he's out of it. Now, it should be. The issue should be situated within the context, of the feelings of people people who are PDP faithfuls. Sule Lamido is definitely one of them. These are people who have been PDP. I mean, they've not in this movement, movement from APC to PDP and back to PDP movement were somewhat politicians. There are politicians who have been in PDP since 1999 and they've remained so, and they've been very, committed and faithful to the party. And that is the way it should be, in a climb where you have, ideological politics, where we have, real commitment, to a cause to be pursued. Now, their anger against President Jonathan should also be understood, because you have a man on the platform of PDP, you became a deputy governor, from deputy governor you became a governor to become vice president, and you became president of the country. So, in fact, perhaps in the history of PDP, perhaps no person has been
benefited
from the party. Yeah, from the party. So if they are raising the moral question, I think there is some legitimacy, to it, and I'm saying that their anger, should be situated, within that context, because it also says something about this, politics without principle. I think we should call for politics of principle.
Yes.
People should not just be in politics just because they just want to be in office as president, as governor, but that because there is a certain cause, they are pursuing, certain things that they believe, the way they want society, to be run, and to which they should be associated. I think that is the point. And I think the other story that which I think should also is the insecurity in the South, is that, for instance, you'll be having these reported killings, in Anambra. The other day it was attacked in the homestead of the governor, Governor Soludo. Now is the homestead of former Governor Obi. Again, it reinforces, the point that the Nigerian state has to move very fast, to be able to create a secure atmosphere, especially that, politics will soon be in full swing, You don't compare the situation, and also for people to have confidence that you will actually be having, because there's no way you can assure people that you'll be having a credible election in an insecure atmosphere, So it is important, that, this the insecurity, should be arrested. Yeah.
Yes.
And we use the last 1 minute just to quickly take a look at the Punch, Sunday Punch. The lead story says PDP shuns lobbyists, picks Abuja for convention. Party to reveal disqualified aspirants after Monday appeal. I mean, we already have an idea of them, because this day, had a clue as to who those two that are rejected, that were denied at the screening, are. A few other important stories here. It's shameful for any government not to pay minimum wage. Protect workers' rights. That's from Etim, a TUC deputy president. And then lecturers partaking in elections not representing us, says Hasu. Hasu is on strike for 3 months, but then that's what they told Nwajuba, the Minister of State, that the people that you have kept out of work are the ones that will supervise the election, and you're trying to make them.
Be very careful.
Look at that.
It's true.
Is that not funny?
Yeah, it is.
Last but not the least, deputies lose out as governors anoint other aspirants as successors. Those are the history, and of course there's something from EFCC declares 59 wanted over 435 billion naira, $397 million, and then 9.9 million pounds frauds, different,
Abdul Rashid Bawa is doing amazing.
Okay, since we don't have time, let me just, if it is a second,
yes,
in the spirit of May Day, let me just amplify what the TUC president says, that it is shameful for any governor, anybody to say that you cannot pay 30,000 naira as minimum wage. In fact, to me, it is callous, it is inhuman, it's morally indefensible, and it's socially reprehensible.
Get the point of why the government will remain in office if you can pay that.
Yeah.
Because what are you doing?
What would you be doing then?
What would you be doing then?
Yeah.
It's a callous thing to say. Yeah.
And just like you said, this ought to be reinforced.
Yeah.
Especially on the occasion of today.
Yes.
Which is May Day.
Yes, it's really well. Thank you, Mr. Komolafe.
Thank you so much, AK.
Pleasure to be here.
Again.
We wish the Nigerian workers the very best.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Happy May Day once more.
Happy May Day all. And that brings us to the end of the morning show today. Thank you for watching. I'm Steve Ayoride.
And I'm Adifemi Akinsanya, wishing all of the Muslims celebrating tomorrow a very happy Eid.
Absolutely. And I am Oji Akpe from our entire team here in Lagos, Nigeria. Enjoy the rest of your morning and, of course, the rest of your day. Goodbye.